The JoLynn Braley Show, episode 208. Get Real, episode number 48. Want to lose your holiday weight gain? Then avoid these 3 mistakes. Hello and welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the diet that is not a diet, the Inner Self Diet. Since 2009, I have been coaching smart, successful women and a few cool men to struggle-free weight loss in 8 weeks or less. Yes, you heard me right. Even though they have been struggling a lifetime with emotional eating, compulsive overeating, low self-esteem, overweight, body hate, body shame, binge eating, yo-yo dieting, anything and everything, any kind of problem that you can think of that would stop a person from losing weight and keeping it off for good. My clients are free of those problems in 8 weeks or less. And I don't even teach them what to eat or what kind of exercise to do. They already know what they need to do to eat healthy, to live healthy. They know what they need to do to lose weight. Their problem is that they're not able to do it. They constantly sabotage themselves. However, when they follow my proven steps of the Inner Self Diet, and I personally coach them through my proven steps of the Inner Self Diet, I actually work with them personally over the phone in real time. Then when they just follow my simple steps, they succeed. Every time. I have never had the Inner Self Diet fail for anyone. Now, of course, I gotta say, the Inner Self Diet doesn't work for anybody who doesn't do it, okay? People who just sit on the sidelines and they wait for more testimonials to come in of my amazing coaching clients. They tell themselves that someday, maybe one day, they'll finally hire me and learn how to heal the root of their overweight, overeating struggles. Those people, the Inner Self Diet never works for because they never do it, right? But isn't it like that with anything in life? Okay, you could have a book that would teach you how to build a log cabin, but if you never open the book and you never do the steps, will you ever get a log cabin out of that book? You won't, will you? And I understand how easy it is to get stuck in magical thinking, in wishing, hoping, and praying that someday, maybe one day, you will lose weight and keep it off. But you keep telling yourself that you're going to wait until Monday, or you're going to wait until New Year's Day, or you're going to wait until after the birthday, after the wedding, after the anniversary, after the cruise, after summer, after Labor Day, after Halloween, after Thanksgiving, after Christmas, and then you're right back to January 1st again, and you look back and another year has gone by and you still have not achieved your permanent weight loss goals. And I don't say this to be negative, but I guarantee you that if you never heal the root of what drives your unhealthy behaviors, then you will always struggle. Why? Because that's what the real problem is. The problem isn't the food, and the problem isn't the fat on your body, and the problem isn't even your unhealthy behaviors. The problem is the root of whatever it is that drives your unhealthy behaviors and your unhealthy lifestyle. And the good news is that once that is healed, then you will be free. All right, that's the work that I do with my awesome coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet, and every single one of them has told me that they never could have done that on their own, and they certainly could not have done it in 8 weeks or less. And what we're here to talk about today is Get Real episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. It's Get Real episode number 48, and this is podcast episode number 208. All right. And since I started doing this free weight loss podcast in January 2013, every month I have been doing at least one Get Real episode. And a Get Real episode is a little bit more in your face than my other episodes of the month. And I can tell you right now that you're not going to like this if you're not willing to get real with yourself. And you might not even have already liked what I shared with you, that, hey, guess what? If you never heal the root of the real problem, then you're going to continue to struggle with food and your weight, because it's not a food problem that you have, and it's not even a weight problem. It's a life problem that is within you, which more than likely you don't know what it is. And if you did know what it was, and if you could see it, which, how do you see a blind spot? But if you could see a blind spot within you, then you'd still have to have the system to heal it. 99.9% of the time, whatever that root of the problem is, it blocks you not only from seeing it, but it also stops you from doing anything to heal it because it's been with you for so long. All right. All of my coaching clients, the root of their overweight and overeating problems, it always starts in childhood. Okay. Could be 5 years old, could be 7 years old, could be 10 years old, could be 13, whatever. But it always starts in childhood. So it's a lifelong problem. And they're not always, it doesn't mean that they were overweight when they were kids. Just like me. I first started struggling with food and my weight when I was only 7. And it was during the summertime. I was wearing a pair of little red shorts. I remember I sat down in the front seat of my parents' car. And I looked down at my thighs, and like any person on the planet, when you sit down and you look down, you sit down, okay? Your thighs will spread out a little bit, no matter what you weigh. And I was not an overweight kid. And I remember I looked down at my thighs and I thought, I am fat. And I wasn't. But that's where everything started. All right? And you got to heal the root of that problem. I highly recommend that you get coaching to do that. Why? Because if you work with the right coach who has the right system, and the way that you know that they have the right system is you look at the results of their clients, then you can get this done. Get the problem solved. Get it fixed. Get on with your life. And then you're not going to be looking at holiday weight gain coming up in future years. Just like one of my coaching clients I worked with back in 2011, her name is Holly, and Holly had been out of control with binge eating for over 30 years. She'd tried all kinds of things to solve it. Nothing worked. She'd even been in therapy off and on for 7 years, and she was very, very skeptical, quite negative. But, and by the way, everything I'm sharing with you, she shares this publicly. I interviewed her on an audio, on a phone call, and you can actually find that on YouTube. It's also on one of my sites, fearlessfatloss.com, and she shares about all of this, about her negativity, about her skepticism, so I'm not sharing anything that she hasn't shared publicly. Anyway, she was very skeptical that anything could solve her binge eating, and I worked with her in the Inner Self Diet. I guided her through all of the steps. Guess what happened? That was in 2011. She ended her binge eating. She followed my system. She followed my proven steps. Her binge eating was healed. She was 20 pounds over her ideal weight back then. She dropped the 20 pounds in 2011. And most importantly, all these years later, she still kept it off. The binge eating has not returned. And what's really important is that she has all of the Inner Self Diet tools that I gave her to use for the rest of her life. Okay, because it's really important for me that my coaching clients are empowered to have the tools in their own pocket to know how to stay in control of their own mind and emotions, as opposed to something like, let's say, hypnosis, where maybe you get a shift, but you don't really know how it happened, and you don't have tools to get back there. You don't know really what even happened. My clients have the tools. They know exactly how to regain control of their mind and emotions if they ever get off track, and that's why Holly is still binge eating free all of these years later. She still sends me updates, and it's really, really cool. She's very inspiring. All right, so like I said, this is episode 208 of the JoLynn Braley Show, Get Real, episode number 48. And the specific topic we're talking about today is if you want to lose your holiday weight gain, I have 3 mistakes for you to avoid. At the time of this recording, it is just a couple days away from Christmas in 2016. And however, if you're listening to this podcast and it's the middle of the summer, these tips that I'm going to give you, these 3 mistakes to avoid, still apply. Okay? It's not just about the holiday season. Before I get to those 3 mistakes, did I mention that I have a bonus for you? If you go to mypodcastbonus.com, then you can grab my free 5-day e-course there. And what it will help you do is it will help you answer the question, is your mindset fit or fat? It will help you discover what's really been stopping you from losing weight for good and what you can do about it. Why would you want to answer the question if your mindset is fit or fat? Because mindset is 92.8% of the challenge of losing weight and keeping it off forever. 92.8% of the challenge. All right? If you keep going the way that you've always gone, which is just looking for another food diet, looking for another exercise program, and you continue to avoid your mindset, you continue to operate from a fat mindset, and that is specifically, what is fat? Fat, F-A-T, fear attracting thoughts. If you continue to operate from that mindset while you just keep forcing yourself to do a food diet that you struggle with and you sabotage yourself at every turn, then how are you going to stay consistent? How easy is it going to be for you to stick with it? What are your results? And actually all you have to do is look at your results from your past to show you what you've got coming up ahead if you just keep going as you have always been going. And actually that is the first mistake to avoid if you want to lose your holiday weight gain. The first mistake to avoid is to stop being insane. Okay? Have you heard of Einstein's definition of insanity? His definition of insanity is when you continue to do the same thing or things. You keep doing the same old shit over and over and over again, and you keep expecting different results. That is insanity. So, number 1 mistake to avoid if you want to lose your holiday weight gain, stop expecting to have amazing, fantastic results from continuing to do what you've always done. And if you're like most people, what you've always done is you've told yourself that you're going to make this big old badass New Year's resolution and that you're somehow going to finally lose weight and keep it off. And then by at least January 15th, it will be a thing of the past. In fact, most people aren't able to get through the first 3 days, and then they feel hopeless and frustrated and they give up and they tell themselves that they'll wait and start again next Monday, and that will continue for 52 weeks of the year. So why would you want to keep doing what you've always done when it hasn't worked for you? All right? Have you ever gotten a weight loss mindset? Have you ever healed the root of the real problem? Who is your coach? Who is your coach that you're working with to get to the root of the real problem, heal it, and get on with the rest of your life so that you can just live a healthy lifestyle, drop the fat, and keep it off? Who are you working with? If you're not working with a coach, that's the second mistake to avoid. Stop trying to do this alone. Most people who are struggling, in fact, the current CDC statistics are that 1/3 of the population of the United States of America over the age of 20 are either overweight or obese. 1/3. What do you think of that? And most of those people, maybe just like you, you're doing the same thing. You think that, well, it's just weight loss. I can put my tuna fish and my cottage cheese together, and I'll just make myself do it. And I don't need any help, right? I'll just make myself go to the gym. I've had this gym membership for 5 years. I've only gone twice, but I'm going to make this New Year's resolution and I'm really going to go this time. Even though I really don't want to go because I don't want anybody to see me overweight. I only want to go to the gym if I'm already thin and fit, but I'm 50 pounds overweight and I need to go to the gym so that I can drop the 50 pounds, but I don't want anybody to see me overweight. I only want to go to the gym if I'm already 50 pounds lighter, so I'll just make myself go anyway. Oh, I don't want to go today. I'm going to go tomorrow. Oh no, oh God, I already shot the whole week. I'll go next Monday. And then this just goes on for the whole year. Do you think you might need help? How is it? How exactly are you going to just power through your diet and exercise routine if you've never been able to do it before? The second mistake to avoid if you really want to lose your holiday weight gain is stop trying to do this alone. Get a coach. Invest in yourself. If you are not willing to invest time, energy, and money in yourself to work with a highly skilled professional coach to heal the root of your life problem that has created the fat on your body, that once that life problem, the root of that is healed, it will impact all areas of your life. Your bank account, your sex life, your relationships, of course your body, your spiritual life. It will impact everything. If you're not willing to invest time, energy, and money in yourself to do that, then that's another problem. And that's actually part of your weight problem. That's a big part of it. It's a self-worth issue. It's a self-esteem issue. It's a values issue. One thing I learned from my first business coach in 2008, I started my business, my weight loss, my mind-body weight loss business. I started that in 2007. And I invested thousands of dollars in myself to hire my first business coach. And one of the hugest, most important things I learned from him is that you can always make more money. But what you cannot ever make more of is lost time, lost experiences, lost life, lost fun, lost opportunities, lost connections, lost relationships. You can never get any of that back. And if you use money as an excuse to get the coaching you obviously need to heal the root of this problem once and for all, then where are you going to be 5 years from now? Here's how you know. Look at your results over the past 5 years of doing it the way that you've always done it. And that's going to show you what you've got coming up ahead of you. Hey, remember, this is Get Real episode number 48 of the JoLynn Braley Show. If you're not willing to get real with yourself, if you would rather just keep going on autopilot and keep doing what you've always been doing, then take full responsibility for the results that you've got coming up ahead, because they're not going to change. All right? The only way that you're going to get radically different results is if you take radically different action, which starts with making a radically different decision. And like I said, if you are not willing to invest in yourself to fix this problem once and for all, then that right there is part of the problem. That right there is part of the problem. And that is part of the problem that drives you to the food to try to feel better, because you don't value yourself. You might be like millions of people with weight problems. You might hate yourself, hate your body. I've had a lot of clients who, in the beginning, when I started working with them, they hated themselves. They hated their body. They hated their fat. They had self-loathing, a great deal of shame, a great deal of guilt. And they were super smart because they invested in themselves. They got into my proven step-by-step system to heal these problems in 8 weeks or less. And then after the root of the problem was healed, they actually, believe it or not, they actually liked themselves. And dare I say, love themselves? Yeah, seriously. So, it really comes down to what you want. You will spend money on what you want. And if you want a large screen TV so that you could sit in front of the TV and watch Titanic and eat ice cream out of the carton and tell yourself that someday you're going to step up and live the life of your dreams in the body of your dreams, then that's what you'll do. Hey, this is a Get Real episode, and I promise you that if you keep doing things the way you've always done them, and you keep investing in things that keep you stuck where you are, like a bigger TV, or more food, or a bigger couch, or a bigger car because you're so large, you've got to get a bigger car because your body is large. If you keep taking that route, you will keep getting more of that stuff. All right? If you want to have a smaller body, a fitter body, a healthier body, if you want to feel absolutely fantastic about yourself, if you actually want to like yourself, love yourself, be happy with your body, be able to enjoy living a healthy lifestyle and have it be fun and struggle-free. Struggle-free means that you're not fighting yourself anymore. Struggle-free doesn't mean that you don't do anything. It means that you're not fighting yourself. It's not like you're walking through mud to live a healthy lifestyle. You actually want to do it. If you want those kinds of results, how are you going to do that on your own? Because first of all, the root of the problem has to be healed. I've never met anybody that when I first start working with them, they even know what the problem is. And then you have to have the system to heal it. And then you have to take action with the system, so you need accountability. And you got to have guidance. And you got to have someone who's willing to help you even when you're really nasty and skeptical and mean to yourself in the beginning. You know? And that's how most of my clients are in the beginning. They're really mean to themselves. And they're not very nice to themselves. And I'm willing to help them to move through that stuff so that they can get to the place where they actually have compassion for themselves and they actually like themselves, and then their whole world changes. Everything changes. It's not just that it becomes easy to live a healthy lifestyle so they can lose weight and keep it off, but everything changes for them. Everything transforms. It's really cool. All right, so the third mistake to avoid if you want to lose your holiday weight gain: stop putting it off. No more, I'm going to wait until Monday, or I'm going to wait until January 1st, or I'm going to wait until whatever. You got to do it right now. And when I say you've got to do it right now, obviously, if you're 50 pounds overweight, you're not going to lose 50 pounds in a day. Okay, that's another problem. That's another symptom of a fat mindset. FAT, fear attracting thoughts. But what I'm saying is that you start now. You do it now. Why? Because this is the only place you have power. You have no power in your future. You have no power in your past. All of your power is now. And the more you persist with your pattern of putting it off, it's never going to be in your present moment. You actually have to live now like you would be living if you were already at your ideal weight. And if you were already at your ideal weight, would you be telling yourself, oh, I'm going to live healthy on Monday? Well, I guess if you did that, you would end up gaining the weight back, right? Hey, maybe that gave you a light bulb moment right there. Maybe that ties into your yo-yo dieting if you're a yo-yo dieter, like millions of people are, you know? One thing I could tell you is that once you get the help you need to heal the root of the problem, you will be free of this stuff. And how do you know you need help? Well, have you ever achieved struggle-free, permanent success with your weight on your own? Yes or no? Actually, I tell you what. Let's do a short commercial break, and then I will give you your questions for this episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. That sounds like a great idea. On today's episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, our sponsor is www.easyfunweightloss.com. www.easyfunweightloss.com is where you can go to grab a free copy of my 3 tips to help you start making weight loss easy and fun from the inside out. You get a PDF download and you can read that and start using it immediately. And keep in mind, hey, guess what? These tips are very different than anything you've ever read before because they're not food tips and they're not exercise tips. They're tips to start making weight loss easier, making it more fun from the inside out. And you can get that free gift at www.easyfunweightloss.com. All right, so questions to ask yourself. On each episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, I give you questions to ask yourself. Grab a pen and a paper. Why? Because you cannot learn by listening alone. If you only listen to my voice, you're hearing things, but you're not ever going to experience anything different, and you're not going to integrate anything. Listening is nice, but I agree with Tony Robbins that you will never learn by listening alone. Instead, when you get a pen and a piece of paper and you put that pen on the paper and you write down each question that I'm going to give you and then you write down your answer to each question, you'll get something out of it. And why not take full advantage of this free weight loss podcast? Why not? All right, and then you can pause this podcast as you take time to write down your answers. And the first question, have you ever achieved struggle-free permanent success with your weight on your own? Have you ever achieved struggle-free permanent success with your weight on your own? Yes or no? The reason that you're asking this question is because these questions I'm giving you today will help you prove to yourself if you need coaching. All right? Because if you have already achieved struggle-free permanent success with your weight on your own, then why would you need coaching for permanent weight loss? You wouldn't, right? I'm sure you need coaching for something else in your life. Everybody needs coaching for something to go to their next level. Why? Because when you work with a highly skilled, highly trained, results proven coach, they can see the blind spots that are stopping you that you cannot see. Okay? So what's your answer to that question? Actually it's better to write it, have I ever achieved struggle-free permanent success with my weight on my own? Yes or no? Second question, do I already know what I need to do to lose weight, but I'm not doing it? Yes or no? Do I already know what I need to do to lose weight, but the problem is that I'm not doing it, or I'm not doing it consistently? Yes or no? All right, this right here is the number one glaring sign that you've got a mindset problem. If you already know how to eat and how to exercise to release the fat from your body, but you're not doing it, that right there shows you that you've got a big ass mindset problem. And mindset is 92.8% of the struggle, of the challenge, of the problem, and of the solution. Because once you get a weight loss mindset, then you will actually do the stuff that you already know you need to do to drop the fat and keep it off. All right. Number 3 question. What are my results? What are my results with my body and my relationship with food? What are my results with food and weight going to be a year from now if I just keep doing what I've always done? What are my results going to be 1 year from now if I just keep doing what I've always done? And what are my results specifically with my weight, with my body, with my relationship with food? What are they going to be a year from now if I just keep doing what I've always done? Okay, I know it's really easy to get all fired up, to look at the calendar and to think, yeah, January 1st, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it, dude. Yeah, hey, I'm going to do it, yeah. Or, yeah, I'm going to do it. Hey, Yay! Whatever. It's easy to look at the calendar. I've done it before too, and you get really excited, you get all pumped up, and January 1st comes. And then you feel all depressed, okay? Because you really don't want to change. You don't really want to change how you eat, but you're telling yourself you're going to force yourself to do it. And then you say, well, but today, January 1st, is a holiday. And I think I'll start on the 2nd. Oh, and then looking at the calendar this year, January 1st is a Sunday. And I never start any new eating plan or a diet on a Sunday. I only start on Monday. So I got to start on January 2nd. And then you're all happy. I'm going to keep eating whatever the hell I want today. I'm going to stuff myself with everything that I'm afraid I'm never going to eat again because tomorrow I'm going to really do this because it's going to be Monday. And then January 2nd comes and you're like, oh, well, it's the 2nd. And really, I was supposed to start my New Year's resolution on the 1st. So I guess I'll do it now. But then lunchtime comes and, oh, you know what? I hate this food I'm eating already. And why don't I just get a little bit of this sandwich or this Chinese food? And then you eat it and you're like, oh, I already blew it. So I'll have to start again next Monday. And then that's how your whole year goes. Or, hey, maybe if you're really good at forcing yourself, maybe you get through Wednesday. And then the weekend comes. Oh no, I gotta, it's too hard to stick with anything on the weekend. I'm just start again on Monday. All right. What are my results going to be a year from now if I just keep doing what I've always done? And then I think we're on the number 4 question. Number 4 question. Where would I be 1 year from now if I were to get the help I need to heal the root of this problem? Because that would mean that I would be able to live a healthy lifestyle as soon as the root is healed, right? And JoLynn's saying that she does this with her coaching clients. The root of their problem is healed in 8 weeks or less. And at first, I think 8 weeks, oh my God, that's so long. But if I really get honest with myself and I really get real with myself and I see that, let's see, what's my age right now? Oh, I'm 38. And you're saying this to yourself. Of course, I don't know what your age is. For all I know, you could be a giraffe listening to this podcast. I have no idea who you are. But let's just say that you're 38 and you're thinking to yourself, well, if I really want to get real with myself and really, really get honest, I'm 38 years old and I know that I started struggling with this problem when I was 10 years old. And so what's 38 minus 10? Oh, it's 28. Wow. So this problem is 28 years old, is 28 years long. Hey, maybe that's why no diet has ever fixed it for me. Wow. Okay, so I guess when I look at it like that it's a 28-year-old problem and I could have this fixed and solved and healed in 8 weeks or less, I guess that's actually pretty fast because I don't have to wait another 28 years to fix this problem. That's pretty darn cool, isn't it? So, where could I be 1 year from today if I were to get the help I need to heal the root of my food and weight problems so that I could just live a healthy lifestyle? Whether it's spring, summer, fall, winter, holidays, whether I'm on vacation, wherever. I could be one of those people. Those people that even when they go on vacation, if they're a runner at home, they go on vacation and they still run. They don't break their routine. Or if they're a swimmer at home, they pick a vacation where they're going to be able to swim. All right? That's who they are. Okay? What if you could become one of those people who actually enjoys the type of exercise that works for your body and it's who you are and you do it all year round and you actually enjoy living a healthy lifestyle? You actually enjoy eating only when you're physically hungry, stopping when physically full. This means that your emotional eating would be healed, your binge eating would be healed. whatever it is that's keeping your body fat, it would be healed so that you could just live healthy and fit. Where would you be a year from now? What would your body look like? How much would I weigh? How much could I weigh 1 year from now if I would just get this problem solved so that I could live healthy and fit without a struggle? How much could I weigh a year from now? What size could I be? How would I feel about myself emotionally? Last question is kind of similar to a previous question of when you ask yourself, where am I going to be a year from today if I just keep going as I am? But this last question is more detailed. Ask yourself the same question as the previous, the number 4 question. And number 5, ask yourself, what's my weight, my size going to be? What size clothing am I going to be wearing a year from now if I just keep going as I am? And what's my weight going to be? And how am I going to feel about myself emotionally if a year from today I'm listening to another podcast that JoLynn Braley has put out and I'm still struggling with the same old stuff? How am I going to feel about myself? Okay? So the number 3 question and the number 5 question were kind of pretty much the same, but number 5 question has more details. If you're not willing to take a pen and paper and write these questions down and write down your answers, how are you ever going to get to this place that you think you want to be, where you can lose weight and keep it off forever? This is a free podcast. All right? You probably don't even have a highly skilled permanent weight loss coach you're working with. And you've got an opportunity to write these questions down, pen on paper, and see what kind of answers you can get for yourself. All right? Beyond this, I strongly recommend that you that you find a coach. And I tell you what, if you're serious about doing this, I've told you already that since 2009, I've been coaching smart, successful women and a few cool men through my proven steps of the inner self diet. It's not for everyone. It's not for people who are looking for a pill or a powder or a shake. It's not for people who are looking for something cheap. Okay? You actually get to work with me personally. I'm a certified master NLP practitioner, certified professional coach, certified professional consciousness shifting, master consciousness shifting coach, a whole bunch of stuff. I'm also an intuitive coach. All this kind of stuff. None of that actually even matters. All that matters are the results my clients get. And their results speak for themselves. If you would love to stop asking yourself, why am I so smart and successful professionally, but I've never been able to solve this weight thing, then go to www.discovery-session.com and start the process of applying to get on the phone with me for a complimentary weight loss discovery session. It is an application process. I am not able to get on the phone with everyone. You have to fill out an application, and then one of my team members will look at the application, and if your application qualifies, then we will email you and get you on the schedule for a complimentary call so that I can learn more about you. Because like I said, for all I know, you are a giraffe listening to this call, and giraffes don't need permanent weight loss coaches. They just don't. Okay? So yeah, I'd need to find out where you're at, where you want to be, find out what your particular struggles are. All right, I got to get this podcast wrapped up here because I've gone a little bit long on it. But hey, this is Get Real episode number 48 of the JoLynn Braley Show. And Get Real episodes rock, and they're very, very important. I really believe that if you don't if you're not willing, and if you don't get real with yourself about where you're at right now, you're just going to keep spinning your wheels and keep creating more of the same stuff. And I know what that's like because I've been there, and in my experience, that really sucks. And I would not wish that on anyone else. If you're willing to just get real with yourself, really you got to look at your results. All right. And that's what these questions that I've given you today to write down and answer for yourself are about. Your results will never lie. Your results never lie. If you're one of these people that there's millions out there, if you're like this, you tell yourself, oh, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And then 3 days in, you're back to binging and you're back to emotional eating, or maybe you're a sugar addict, or maybe you could stick with it for 2 weeks. Maybe you stick with it for 2 months, but you always end up going back to your same old ways. All right. If you don't heal the root of that, how can you expect to be free? How are you going to do that? Okay, like I said, I need to wrap up today's podcast. Before I go, you can get a shout out from me on the JoLynn Braley Show. And what that means is that I will give you a shout out and say hi. All you have to do is click the like button on the show's Facebook page. That's all you have to do. And you can get there by going to the JoLynnBraleyShow.com. All right, and when you click the like button on the show's Facebook page, I'll give you a shout out on an upcoming episode. This week's shout out, it's kind of funny. Or not funny, haha, but it's different. It's different. I'm giving a shout out to two people who are part of the podcast community. They've liked the JoLynn Braley Show's Facebook page, but I don't know how to pronounce your names. Both of you are you're either Arabic or from the Middle East, and I don't read that language and I don't know how to pronounce it. I do love foreign languages and I love foreign cultures. I actually used to be a flight attendant, an international flight attendant for 7 years. And for many of those years, I was a senior flight attendant, flying all around the world. And I'm good with foreign languages. If I were to move to Spain or move to Germany and live there, I would be able to pick those languages back up. And I'm good with other languages, but I'm not fluent in other ones. But the Middle Eastern languages, those are some that I have never ever learned or studied. So anyway, there's two people who have liked the JoLynn Braley Show's Facebook page, and you're both from the Middle East, and I apologize, I don't know how to pronounce your names, but I'm giving you a shout out, and I'm sure that you know who you are, right? Because on your Facebook, it's written in the cursive or Arabic, the Cyrillic. Is it called Cyrillic? It's written in that, and unfortunately I don't read that. So you guys know who you are. Thank you so much for being a member of the JoLynn Braley Show. Thanks for liking the page. If either of you, if you do write in English, if you are fluent in English, I invite you to post on the JoLynn Braley Show's Facebook page and tell me any topics that you would love to hear me cover on an upcoming episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, okay? If either of you struggle with sugar addiction or emotional eating, those are two big ones that are especially problems here in the United States, but they are also problems are becoming more prevalent around the world. Whatever would fit this show, if you would like to hear me talk about a subject, then leave me a post on the JoLynn Braley Show's Facebook page and tell me your topic suggestions. I would love to read them. And by the way, too, you know what's really, really, really interesting is that no matter where you were born on the planet and what language you speak, there are certain things that are true for all people. One of them is we all live under the same universal laws, okay? And none of us can change universal laws. One of the universal laws that we all live under is the inner and the outer always match. So, for example, if you're fat on the inside, then your behaviors and your body will be fat on the outside. But this also applies to anything else. If you are hating yourself on the inside, you hate your body, you hate the fat on your body, you detest yourself, your behaviors on the outside will match. Universal laws apply to all of us. Something else too is that whatever you believe, it's true for you. And the universe will support it. So if you have the belief that it's too hard to lose weight, you're right. Unfortunately, you're right. Now, what's really cool is if you were to change that belief to it's easy for my body to shed the fat, you'd be right. And it would happen. But it would have to be a real belief, not just a pretend statement. So, no matter where you live on the planet, whatever you believe, that's your reality. And if your beliefs support a healthy body and a healthy life, then you're rocking it. But if your beliefs support frustration, self-hate, shame, depression, a fat body, fat behaviors, if your beliefs support those things, then that's going to be your reality. The good news is that those beliefs can be changed. All right, so we covered quite a bit here on today's episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. We covered 3 mistakes that you want to make sure you avoid if you want to lose your holiday weight gain. This was Get Real, episode number 48 of the JoLynn Braley Show, episode number 208 of the whole show. And so I did spend a little bit extra time here with you today on the topic of really getting real with yourself, especially if you are listening to this podcast and it's the end of the year. You know, do you really want to have another year of the same old struggle? Is that really what you want? And if you don't want that, what is the radically different thing that you're doing so that your year will be radically different? I strongly recommend that the radically different thing you do is to get coaching with the right kind of coach, with the coach whose clients get the kind of results that you want for yourself. All right. Remember that you can go to www.mypodcastbonus.com. You can get my free 5-day e-course there, and it will help you answer the question, is your mindset fit or fat? Next week's episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, one trick to ensure that you actually meet your goals in the new year. You want to make sure that you tune into that. And if you combine that episode with today's episode of avoiding the 3 mistakes that I gave you, then you should really be rocking your new year. So make sure that you tune in for next week's episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. That will be episode number 209 of the JoLynn Braley Show. Thanks so much for tuning in today. This is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the kick-ass, amazing diet that is not a diet, the Inner Self Diet. And I wish you your best life while living inside of your ideal body.